Fellas, let's get into the discussion of becoming cardboard millionaires. And one of the things we really want to do is speak to the new people that have come into the hobby.
Breaking news and the top story into sports card radio. We will examine the fall of one of the most well-known brands in the sports card industry, Beckett Media. Beckett used to be the number one go-to source for sports card pricing. Beckett used to be the go-to source for hobby news. Beckett used to have one of the marquee industry events. And for about 20 years, Beckett, along with PSA, were the two most respected grading companies in the industry. What happened in the last several years to Beckett to make them not relevant anymore in the hobby? We will examine.
That's not content.
We will also closely examine Beckett's new choice of CEO, Kevin Isaacson. I'll give 3 specific examples how Kevin Isaacson has burnt bridges in the sports card industry, and I'll provide my reasoning why he is a horrible choice to lead the Beckett brand into the future. You will not want to miss that.
That's drama.
A card trimmer suggested sports card radio should be worried about the Mexican cartel. No. Does it look like I'm scared? Why does this hobby take known scammers and card trimmers at their word? We will examine.
Hey Jason.
Jeff, what's going on, man?
Speaking of soft, is the bottom just beginning to fall out of high-end sports card prices, with PPP loan money completely gone?
Some people use PPP loans fraudulently.
With fractional sports card sites closing their doors?
I am so excited about how Dibs is going to revolutionize sports card investing.
And with one fractional website liquidating inventory as we speak?
Check it out on the Collectible YouTube channel.
Will this keep a lid on sports card prices for the foreseeable future?
So buy Will Greer, and that's what I'm doing. I'm buying a bunch of Will Greer rookies right now. And then also maybe take a flyer on Ryan Finley and Jordan Tamu. Their card prices are so low. You know, who knows of those guys?
Let's jump right into it. A huge failure of Beckett over the last few years has nothing to do with grading, the look of their stupid holders, or their failed marketing attempts. It has everything to do with how Beckett has let other companies take over spaces they used to dominate. Anyone over 40 remembers buying Beckett magazines. While magazines are pretty much a thing of the past, what happened to Beckett's dominance in sports card pricing? It used to be a space Beckett dominated and historically probably made them lots of money. Today, nobody goes to Beckett to price their cards. Why didn't Beckett create their own card ladder, for example? Why do more people likely use Jeff Wilson's market movers than any pricing tool Beckett has? Pricing isn't the only thing Beckett has let slip. Beckett used to be a source for hobby news, either through their magazine or their website. When was the last time Beckett broke a story or had anything useful to add to the hobby discussion? We break more news over here at Sports Card Radio, in my opinion, than a multi-million-dollar company that employs writers and staff to cover the hobby.
Hello everybody, I'm Chris Olds and I'm here with a special guest.
Most importantly for Beckett and probably the viewers watching, just 5 years ago, the hobby mantra was send your modern cards to BGS to get graded and send your vintage cards to PSA. Somehow, not only has Beckett got overtaken by PSA by leaps and bounds, somehow the morons who have ran Beckett have allowed SGC and CSG to overtake them in the grading space. Grading is definitely how Beckett makes a bulk of their money as a company. How did they let this happen? Beckett used to be the clear number 1 or number 2 grading company in the industry, depending what cards you were sending in, clear as day, number 1 or number 2. They aren't even number 2 anymore. It's laughable that during a sports card boom, Beckett lost market share in pricing, in hobby news, and in grading. Another space Beckett has lost market share is live events, and this ties into their new CEO pick, Kevin Isaacson. The Sports Card Industry Summit used to be a must-attend event, along with the National. I bet 90% of the people watching, though, don't even know that Beckett has an industry summit anymore. What happened to that business? Why did they get overtaken in the event space as well? Why is the Mint Collective more popular than Beckett's industry summit? Why is Topps Industry Conference in Arizona even a thing? It all leads back to Beckett's new CEO, Kevin Isaacson, who used to run the industry conference. The problem with Kevin is he can be a huge dick. Here are 3 examples a year after record-breaking attendance at the industry summit way back in 2013. Kevin banned Leaf CEO Brian Gray from the 2014 industry conference. Brian Gray even sued Isaacson over this. The industry summit was never the same after this. That's because Isaacson wanted to pick certain sponsors over others, and it led to attendance falling off a cliff for the event.
Yep.
For example, Topps, once they sniffed out that Isaacson favored Beckett's Texas neighbor, Panini, over anyone else in the industry, Topps created their own industry conference in Arizona and even stopped attending Beckett's industry conference for a while.
Yep.
So Kevin Isaacson took one of the most well-attended and marquee events in the sports card industry and turned it into a nothing burger.
Yep.
Kevin Isaacson is used to throwing people under the bus. At the 2013 Industry Summit way back 10 years ago, sports card group breaks were a brand new phenomenon, believe it or not. Isaacson got one of the industry's leading group breakers to conduct a break at the conference. The problem was, Isaacson took it upon himself to sell spots in the breaks to some homies that he knew, and he double sold some spots in the breaks, which caused some confusion and some refunds to happen. Instead of taking accountability for his actions, Kevin Isaacson went on social media and blamed the group breaker for double selling the break. I was at the event. I saw what happened. I knew what happened. I called Kevin Isaacson out on social media for lying, and thus you know the impetus for why Sports Card Radio was also banned from the industry summit as well. Isaacson isn't scared of throwing people under the bus to make himself look better. Everyone who works at Beckett will find this out in short order, I'm sure. An industry event in 2013 or 2014 with Brian Gray and Sports Card Radio, much like today, would have generated a lot of eyeballs and a lot of influence. Kevin Isaacson, though, thought it was better for his business to keep us out. Looking back, while biased, it appears a bad move for Isaacson. Beckett has done a very good job trying to isolate themselves in the industry. When was the last time anyone from Beckett was interviewed, for example? Kevin Isaacson is going to continue this trend at Beckett, and we will see a continued slide in their market share and relevance in the hobby going forward.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for coming.
This building is huge.
Next topic, in an interview recently, a card trimmer suggested Sports Card Radio should be worried about the Mexican cartel. Yes, that really happened. My reaction is, number one, we've actually covered the story about the group in Mexico creating fake PSA slabs many times on Sports Card Radio. I'll post links in the video description. Secondly, the guy supposedly working for this Mexican cartel that got arrested by the FBI is this frail-looking 86-year-old guy out of Colorado. Certainly not anybody from Stockton's going to be scared of.
In Stockton, California. This little
Number two, this is a textbook way how the hobby elite, Jason Kuntz, for example, those types of people try and shut you up. They try and scare you. They send you either threatening emails, they send over lawsuit threats.
Daniel, you are not the person that I have ever thought about suing.
Or in Kuntz's case, he's trying to shut us up by saying the Mexican cartel is going to come hunt us down. Look, if you guys want to buy into these scare tactics, known scammers like Jason Kuntz, Jeff Wilson, Brent Higgins, etc., you guys can name your own. If you want to buy into these scare tactics, be my guest. I'm not scared about anyone from Mexico. I'm not scared of some white guy named Kuntz.
Hey, I'm here to kill and be killed.
This industry should be scared about what I might do or say next, in my opinion.
Really just negativity in general out there.
Speaking of scary, all the investment and PPP money has dried up in the industry, and it's leading to the softening of high-end sports card prices. Now that we've seen the softening of pricing, the scammers and card trimmers are back because that's the only way they can make money in this industry, frankly. The collectible app that was sponsored by Sports Card Nonsense, Jeremy Lee, Slab Stocks, Luca Tigers and Bronze podcast, among many others, the collectible app was a fractional marketplace that is now going out of business. Fractional marketplaces helped push high-end sports card prices higher during the pandemic boom because these companies spent millions of dollars in investment money buying items at the very peak of the market. Guys, the very peak of the market. Well, now that money has dried up, so has their particular business, and so has the high-end prices of sports cards. Collectible is going to be completely out of business soon, and they are liquidating cards as we speak. This will put downward pressure on the market. High-end cards and their values probably have another year or two to go down. No new money is coming into the space to gobble up these cards. The investor and PPP money has completely dried up, and until liquidity enters the sports card space for one reason or another, we will see continued slides in high-end sports card pricing and expect to see continued videos all week right here on Sports Card Radio. We're not done. Lots of content coming at you. We will be at a card show in Sacramento this week, so come say hi, even if you're part of the Mexican cartel.